We have a real problem, and it's getting a lot of people unalived. This is Joshua Lisec, Daily Persuasion. I am the New York Times bestselling author and co-author, ghostwriter of 97 books, and a professional hypnotist. Through my unique experiences, I curate current events and teach you how to better influence the VIPs of your life and your career. At the beginning of the 2024 presidential campaign, it was May 10th, 2023. In a CNN town hall, Donald J. Trump, a candidate at the time, he, in response to a question about, well, would you support Ukraine against Russia? He said, exasperated, I just want people to stop dying. I want Ukrainians and Russians to stop dying. Stop the killing. I want it to stop, he said. And ever since then, his opponents have said, no, you don't. No, you don't. You're a dictator. Threat to democracy. Got to support democracy. And most recently, you might have seen a viral clip of John Bolton, the war hawkmonger, who Trump famously said he would walk him into the room to scare the crap out of his opponent to think, oh no, they're going to stick John Bolton on us and launch a forever war against us. We better behave ourselves. That was the purpose of bringing John Bolton along, Donald Trump had said of the first term. But John Bolton said, I believe it was on MSNBC, he said, Donald Trump, paraphrasing, Donald Trump only wants to end the war in Ukraine so he can get the Nobel Peace Prize. And I thought, how terminal does your Trump derangement syndrome have to be? Now, TDS means whatever Trump says, we have to do the opposite. We have to go in the opposite direction. So it's whatever Trump says, we have to do the opposite. Do you remember how all various left-wing influencers would say, I'm never getting the Trump shot, ever, period. No way, it's dangerous. And then merely weeks later, upon Biden's victory, I can't wait to get it. And if you don't get it, you're a threat to democracy and you're breaking the social contract. Just weeks later. So the issue could not change. But if the people involved, it's a knee-jerk reaction if I have to be the opposite. I like to, and I do like to, point out that liberals think as follows. I'm a good person, or I'm a good effing person. Just be a good effing person. I'm a good effing person. You disagree with me. Therefore, you're a bad person. And that's the beginning and end of the critical thought that's involved. Trump is a bad person. He supports this. Therefore, to be a good person, I take the opposite stance. And that's what they do. So we have the Trump administration, and together with Vice President J.D. Vance, have been speaking about advocating for peace for, at this point, almost 2 months into the presidency, the 47th presidency. The other side is begging for the war to be continued, for more fronts to open, for more guns, more attacking, more war. Just the other hour on Truth Social, Donald Trump had talked about how Russian forces have Ukrainian forces surrounded, and he was begging President Putin of Russia to spare all of their lives. What if Donald Trump, when he says what he says, is telling the truth? And this is where TDS glitches people. Well, I tell the truth. He's opposite me. Therefore, he has to not be telling the truth. I'm a good person. Therefore, he has to be a bad person. Otherwise, he would agree with me. It's that solipsistic, self-referential worldview that you find libbies have a hard time breaking out of. And so this is where we can try to get a little bit of agreement with people, not simply on the Trump issue and on Ukraine, but on other issues of disagreement, where we can reframe the disagreement as an agreement that a disagreement exists. So, okay, so when I say I want peace, I want people to stop dying, I mean that. Can you agree that I mean that? That's the question to ask. That's the foundational question. Can you get them to a yes? Neurolinguistic programming teaches, this is where I'm going to end it today. Neurolinguistic programming teaches to only ask questions that you know the answer to is yes. Doesn't that make sense?